How to connect a domain to Shopify. So this video will be for you if you're looking to add a domain to your Shopify store, which by the way, you should really do because it helps with your branding. And currently, it is imperative for you to have a domain if you want to stay competitive in the online store game. So let's get started. To connect the domain to your Shopify store, we have two options here. One is we buy a domain from Shopify directly. Now, it has a higher price than if you buy your domain from other domain registrars like Hostinger, GoDaddy, Name.com, and etc. But it is more convenient for the management and the integration to Shopify. However, as what I told you earlier, it is more expensive. So the third party domain registrars like GoDaddy and etc. will provide a cheaper alternative for you to buy your domain. But they do require more steps to connect, and those steps we will talk about in this video, as well as some other things that I think it's important to talk about the domains. Okay, so currently I have my domain prepared. Now, I am using a local domain registrar to demonstrate that this method will apply for every domain registrar there is on the internet. So it is not specific to a domain provider, but the steps will be very similar, albeit, of course, different across the uh, displays of the domain registrar. Okay, so the first step here is to go to Shopify and go to settings on the bottom left corner here, and then go to domains and the left menu over here, just under apps and sales channels. And there you go. We have two options. One is the buy new domain. This is from Shopify. If we click it and we search the domain that we want, I'm just going to search a domain that I want. Let's say, for example, there you go. It has domain suggestions provided to me, and they have a WHOIS certificate. So I believe they are already search engine index ready. So they are a very good domain for you to buy if you have the budget. However, similar domains might be available on listing on other domain registrars, which may be cheaper for you to attain. Now, I'm going to use the second option over here, which is to add a domain from a third party. So once you've purchased your domain from a third party, go to the domain menu and go to settings, and then go to DNS management. This will have different names across different domain registrars, but they should be very similar. Okay, so next is go back to Shopify and click connect existing domain over here. And let's just type in the domain that you have purchased from your registrar. All right, so let's click next when it's done. Okay, so there you go. We have instructions and we need to verify connection. Let's start syncing the domain map. So for Shopify to connect to your domain, it will need to do something called DNS mapping. It is where we sync a set of data that Shopify and the domain requires to perform. So let's just do that right now. So if it's the first time that we are trying to connect the domain to Shopify, this help center will pop up. What we want to do is to do the steps that are in the connect your third party domain to Shopify manually. I'm just going to open it in next tab. And there you go. So these are the steps that we need to do. So basically, we need to add these data to our domain management and our registrar website. So first is the A record to the Shopify IPv4 address. So to do that, it's an A record. Just click add new record to in your domain registrar and change the record type to A and the domain to be 23.227.38.65. IP name. Now the domain, you can leave it blank. I will just leave it blank because it is meant to be blank. However, if you do so choose, you can use the @ symbol if you want, but it is not necessary. So let's just click add record for our first record over here. There you go, it's a success. And next is the quad A record to be Shopify's IPv6 address. So let's copy that data, and then let's click and add another record type. And then let's paste Shopify's IPv6 address. Domain, we will leave it blank again because it's a quad A record type. It doesn't need anything in the domain. So, okay, so let's click add record. All right, so the last record is a CNAME record with a www host, and it points to this URL. So let's just do that for now. Add a new record. Record type change to CNAME. Domain is www, and the host name is the shops.myshopify.com. Okay, so let's click add record. All right, and then we're done. Now, it does take a few minutes for my domain registrar to connect everything, so I might need to wait a little bit. It's not too long, but it may be the same in your case. So, like, if the next step haven't worked after we did the last step, be sure to wait for a few minutes. So, okay, so once we're done, basically, let's just go back to our the domain settings in Shopify and click verify connection. Let's see if it's working now. All right. Now, as you can see, it's still empty for now. That is because maybe it still needs some time for Shopify to sync, because we do have put in the correct information, I believe. So I will update you in a few minutes if the data is already synced by my domain registrar. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, about 5 minutes since last time. The status of my domain's connection has changed to SSL pending, as you can see here on Shopify. That means the previous step, which is the connection between my domain that I bought from domain registrar to my Shopify domain, which is on top over here, my primary Shopify domain, has been completed, and it is successful. So that means they've already talked to each other just fine. However, it is now waiting for an SSL certificate. Now, if you see this message, this may be caused by you not having the SSL certificate purchased from the domain provider. Now, SSL certificates are very important because it is actually required for you to connect your domain to Shopify. So just make sure you bought it in the domain registrar. And also, another information about SSL certificates is that they are very important to make sure that your domain shows in any search engine, because search engines like Google and Bing and other search engines heavily penalize domains who does not have an SSL certificate. So it will not rank high enough so that the viewers might have trouble to have to see your domain in the search engine. Also, when it's clicked from a search engine, domains that does not have SSL certificates will be provided with a warning that the connection is not secure, which is hurtful for the traffic that you try to generate to your website. So that is all from me. Thank you.